moving to the NFL. The biggest story around free agency so far is the players who didn't hit the market. It's been a little bit since I've been on here to talk some football, so excited to run through some of the big free agent dealings across the National Football League. So, the NFL, we have free agency. It's off to a start. Anyway, but the big news was a couple big guys are sticking around with their teams as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins sign big contracts locked up with the Cincinnati Bengals. It makes their quarterback happy. Honestly, it was a little bit of a surprise to see the Bengals spending in this sort of a way because of the issues that they've had at times with just not wanting to spend money. They do have bigger needs, but this keeps their offense at an elite level after a fantastic season. And it is a little bit funny because I was saying going in, you had to do this. You had to keep both of these guys. And now that they have them, like, whew, that's, it's a lot of money to spend on two wide receivers. So there is no winning for some. Ultimately, I do like the move to keep your franchise quarterback and to keep a strength, basically. Were you going to fix the defense in one offseason? Probably not. So instead of just letting Higgins go and okay, you get to improve the defense a little bit, but now your offense has taken a hit and it's not elite anymore. It's still good, but it's not elite. And your defense has worked its way up to average. Now you just, you know what? Let's keep one part of our game elite. Hopefully we can kind of nibble at the edges and make a couple good draft picks and we can fix this defense kind of on the fly. So I like the strategy from the Bengals, and it's going to be a fun comparison because you have the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens basically punting on wide receiver. I know Nuke Hopkins goes to Baltimore, but for the most part, they're not really going big on wide receiver. And the Bengals are going big on wide receiver. And so it's going to be very fun to compare how the two strategies work over the next little bit. Also in the free agency world, I love Fields to the Jets. He was winning games with the Steelers before the switch was made. And I would suggest I would take the skill position players of the New York Jets over that of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So look, maybe New York's roster isn't as good as we thought it was going to be last season, but it is still a pretty good roster. And Fields, I think, is still a pretty good quarterback. So I just think this makes a ton of sense. And Fields, at the very least, is going to be good enough that he can keep that offense between the white lines. And let's just keep her on the road, baby. I think he's going to be good enough to be able to do that. In the Jets division, he's going to have to deal with a very good pass rusher as Joey Bosa to the Bills. Such a good fit. Looking for a replacement for Von Miller. The Bills found one and then some. Bosa knows what it's like to face Mahomes and the Chiefs and still has a ton left, in my opinion. So this makes a lot of sense for him. The team that the Bills beat in the wild card round also adds to their defense with the Broncos signing Dre Greenlaw. An injury in the Super Bowl is what people are remembering, but before that, Greenlaw was genuinely one of the better players in the league. And so I think that this is still a guy who can play at a high level. And he is a talent that I think can really step up for the Broncos. If he can get anywhere back to that kind of pre-injury level, then this is going to be a no doubt absolute 100% home run for the Denver Broncos and really give them a force on defense. The Seahawks, I don't know if it's better. I don't know if it's worse. It sure is different, though, this year in Seattle. When you look at Geno Smith gone, DK Metcalf gone, Tyler Lockett gone, and in comes Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp. Now look, I think Kupp still has a bit left in the tank. I don't think it's $15 million a year left in the tank. Although with Devontae Adams getting what he got from the Rams, I mean, who knows? But I just don't think it's a good value for me. I think that this is a downgrade. I think when you go from those guys to these guys, I don't think you've saved enough money to justify the moves that you've made. Like Sam Darnold is going to be a major concern behind that offensive line. And I think people are going to really recognize how good Geno Smith was behind just a putrid offensive line. Because I don't think Sam Darnold is going to be able to help with that all that much. And I think it's going to be a bit of a concern for Seattle this year, the play at the quarterback position. Moving on, the Dallas Cowboys, I think they get good value with Dante Fowler. I think that like we had Fowler as a value play when we did the free agency previews, I guess, and this. We thought the injuries would make him a bit of a bargain, and it turns out that it did. The Cowboys take advantage with a 1-year deal. If Fowler can stay healthy, this is a really good move for a defense against a still very good offensive line out in Philadelphia and against a great quarterback in Washington. They also make a very Cowboys-type move with Javonte Williams going to the Big D. He looked cooked last year, but he's still young and has shown at times he can be very good, and the further removed from injury, the better it does seem. So I do think that this is a way that you can maybe try to find some value in the free agent market, and it's definitely the Cowboys taking a shot at a guy for his name. Mekhi Becton to the Chargers also makes a lot of sense. They signed Najee Harris. You don't love that from a Chargers standpoint, but it's a career turnaround for Mekhi Becton in Philadelphia. Now going to the Chargers, a team that wants to run first, it's a style fit that I think works really, really well for both teams, and I think it is an upgrade. If you can stay at that high level, it's an upgrade in the area that the Chargers want to be better at and want to play at. So it makes all the sense in the world for them to pull off that type of a move. We'll have lots more on free agency as the week goes along.